Hey guys, Mrs. Ani here. I have lesson 6 for you, chapter 5, lesson 6, approximating answers. And what you'll be able to do at the end of the lesson is approximate factors to find the product that makes sense. So we need to know what factors are in a multiplication problem, and we need to know what products are in a multiplication problem. All right, let's get started. So the question that we're going to answer with every problem that we get today is this one. Does it make sense? That's really what we're doing. Let's start out with an example. All right, 46 times 61. We have not learned the algorithm to multiply two two-digit numbers together, but we have learned the distributive property. But today I'm going to ask you something a little bit different. I want you to approximate your answer. So we're going to first approximate the product, okay? The factors. So when I take a look at the factors 46 and 61, I'm thinking, how could I round these to make my life easier? I can see that 6 is greater than 5, and so I'm going to bump up the 4. I got 50. And I can see that 1 is less than 5. I'm going to leave the 6 a 6 and bump that one down to 60. 5 times 6 is 30, and I'm going to place 2 zeros at the end. So I know that my product is 3,000. Which of these answers is closest to 3,000? If you said A, you would be correct. This is the answer that makes the most sense for this problem. All right, let's do another one. 28 is closest to 30. 195 is closest to 200. If you're confused about that, then you need to come to me and ask about rounding, and we can do some practice with that. All right, let's multiply the whole numbers. 3 times 2 is 6. I'm going to place the zeros at the end, and I get 6,000. Now, look at my answers. This one's a little bit tricky. 5,460, 6,140, 7,440. These are pretty close together. How many of you are going to say B? B is pretty close to 6,000, right? But I want you to look at something. We rounded 28 up to 30. We rounded 195 up to 200. So I know that my answer is actually going to be less than 6,000. The only answer that's less than 6,000 is 540. Again, asking ourselves that question, does it make sense? All right, next example. 206, that's pretty close to 200. And 38, that's pretty close to 40. Whoops. Again, if you have questions about rounding, come and see me. 2 times 4 is 8, and we've got 3 zeros at the end. So let's see which one makes the most sense. This one looks pretty low, this one looks pretty low, but this one looks just right. 74 times 803. We might be tempted to round this to 75, but let's make it a nice even number. Remember, we're working with multiples of 10. So when I do round this, I'm going to get 70, and with this one, I'm going to get 800. 7 times 8 is 56, and let's count the number of zeros. We've got 3 zeros. There's only one answer that makes sense here. This one's way too large. This one's way too large. All right, last example before I send you off on your own. 574 times 896. I know that this is going to be a pretty big number. So I want to round to the nearest hundred in both. I know that 574 is closest to 600, and I know that 896 is really close to 900. 6 times 9 is 54, and then we've got 4 zeros. Okay, 540,000. So I know right away, no way, this one's not going to make sense. This one, I think it's going to be too large. The one that's closest to my answer, 540,000, is C. What makes sense? All right, so if you think that you can approximate factors to find a product that makes sense, then you're welcome to go off and do the assignment. If you're confused, you can either watch the video again or you can come and see me for help. All right, let's go ahead and get to work.